Hello everybody and welcome back to Fazbear Acid. On today's edition of FNAF merch character profiles, we'll be focusing on a set of characters who are very pivotal to the FNAF series, but are probably nobody's favorite characters if we're being totally honest. That's right, we'll be discussing the ENDO skeletons. And just a little disclaimer, I'm going to be going over the classic endos for this video, like Endo 01 and Endo 02. I'm not counting the other more individual characters like the Mimic or Yendo, because I feel like those characters deserve their own videos. But before we dive into the merch, for today's Faz question of the video, if you were a mascot performer at a Fazbear Entertainment location, what character would you like to perform as? It could literally be any character you like, so choose as you wish. So with the intro out of the way, let's take a look at the history of endoskeleton figures and plushies. Like so many other FNAF characters, the first piece of Endo merch was brought to us by Funko. In March 2016, Funko released this collectible vinyl figure set, and as you can see, it included Endo 02. Pretty random to include him in here since every other character is from FNAF 1, but honestly, I don't think Funko knew that Endo 02 was from FNAF 2, especially since it's just labeled animatronic skeleton. But the figure itself is pretty good actually, especially for a 2-inch figure. No complaints from me. It wouldn't take long for us to get our next piece of Endo merch, as it would come in late April 2016 when Funko included a 1 out of 36 endoskeleton mystery mini into the first wave of FNAF mystery minis. Now, this one is a little interesting. It definitely doesn't resemble Endo 01, it looks more like Endo 02, but it's clearly molded after classic Freddy, with the ears and that top hat. Definitely one of the weirdest minis I'd say, but it's still fun nonetheless. Fast forward a couple months later in August, and we'd get a brand besides Funko in this mix when McFarlane released their backstage construction set, which included this awesome Endo figure. Now, it more closely resembles Endo 01 with the lack of ears, but the mouth is slightly different from 01's. Regardless, it's hands down the creepiest Endo figure of all. And just for brevity, the same Endo figure was actually reused in the parts and service set from June 2017. Same figure, but I just thought I'd mention it here now. When 2017 rolled around, Funko would give us a new Endo figure right out the gate with their FNAF Pint-Size Heroes line around January. Included in the GameStop exclusive line was this endoskeleton Foxy figure. I guess it's sort of the same thing as the Endo Freddy mystery mini, like Funko seemingly thinks that each character's Endo is specifically molded after them or something. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't know or forgot that this figure even existed, because I don't believe it was even included on the checklist, along with the other non-listed GameStop exclusive Crying Child Pint-Size Hero. So I don't really know what was up with these two. Is it Endo 01 or Endo 02? No, but it's clearly classic Foxy's endoskeleton, so I think it's definitely worth counting for this video. Sadly for the endos, that's all 2017 had to offer, but 2018 would see a return of some old Endo merch, but in a unique way. In October of that year, Funko would release their controversial Blacklight line of merchandise. Included was a Blacklight version of their original vinyl figure set, which gave us a Blacklight Endo 02 figure, and a Blacklight version of the original mystery minis, naturally resulting in a blacklight Freddy Endo, still 1 out of 36. A lot of the blacklight Funko figures nowadays are either really expensive or on the harder to find side. In the case of the blacklight figure pack, it can run pretty steep in box, and for the mystery mini, it's always well over $100. While it might not be the most creative line, I personally like the blacklight merch. I just love those eye-catching unique colors on the FNAF characters, and I think this blue color looks especially cool on both Endo figures. Following this, we'd have to wait quite a while until we got anything else of note. In September 2022, we would get the Chica with Storage Room Funko Snaps playset. And while no Endo figure, it did include a head of Endo 01 as well as some Endo heads attached to the wall. Again, not a full figure, but still of note. For the next true Endo figure though, it wouldn't arrive until October 2023 with Funko's Fightline series. Included was this Endo 01 figure, and this was the first time Endo 01 was actually properly specified as such. Unfortunately, Funko opted not to do any other Endos in the Fightline series, which sucks mainly because this would have been the perfect spot to give Endo Plush some recognition. I mean, I don't think this poor guy is going to ever get merch. 2024 would soon arrive and bring us one new piece of Endo merch, continuing this trend of one Endo merch per year. But it was actually a very cool piece. In the 10th anniversary Funko Mystery Minis released in June, Endo 01 would receive a 1 out of 72 mini. Now, I really like this mini. It looks fine and it is nice to see a proper Endo skeleton mystery mini finally. Not anything bad to say about this one. It took a little bit for this new style of mystery minis to grow on me, but eventually it did, and I hope that we get new minis in this style soon. Now we land where we currently are in 2025, and surprisingly, this year is actually shaping up to be arguably the best year for Endo merch so far. All of this year's Endo merchandise is not currently out yet, but will be out very soon. Firstly, Jazzware's Endo series action figures will be coming out in just a few weeks, and will give us our first Endo 1 action figure. And just recently, Funko announced 2 new pieces of Endo merch. First, they revealed this awesome New York Comic Con exclusive Endo 02 Funko Pop, which apparently will also be available at Hot Topic. Honestly, this is a fantastic Funko Pop. Despite Funko's checkered past with accuracy when it comes to pops, they really nailed this one. And the second piece of Endo merch announced by Funko is this Endo 01 mini keychain, which is a part of their upcoming Mystery Mini Pop keychain line. Funko made some very peculiar choices with this new line of merch, and Endo 01 here is a part of them. They literally just recycled the 10th anniversary Mystery Mini and slapped a keyring on it, despite the majority of the others being mini Funko Pop counterparts. I wish they would have just made an Endo 01 mini Funko Pop here, like in the actual Pop style, but at least they didn't reuse a fan's design that they had previously stolen for Endo 01. They just did that with Fredbear. So, what is the future of Endo merch looking like past 2025? Well, we do know of at least one Endo figure that will be coming out next year, and that is an Endo 02 action figure by Jazzwares, part of their Endo series Wave 2 releases. But other than that, it's unknown what lies ahead for the Endo skeletons. I'm guessing we will see a Jazzwares plush or youtooz figure of Endo 01 or 02 at some point, and if Funko ever decides to do a new wave of minis sometime soon, it wouldn't be a bad idea to include Endo 02 into that wave, or more delusional I know, a mini of Endo plush, or maybe even Nightmare Endo. That would be insane. But as always, be sure to tell me what you have, what you want, and what Endo merchandise you would like to see get made in the future. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been fazbear Acid.